No, the points don't carry over. The points are hard locked to the teams, correct? Maybe Chad will help us out a little bit on this one.
I don't know. I've been up for way too long, but I also feel like this is whose line is it anyway, where the points don't matter. And if you understand that reference, you had a great childhood, or you watch whose line is it anyway now, and you have a great time.
Unfortunately, I didn't have a great childhood. We're gonna have a great game though. Timbersaw picked up here for Nigma. I really like this hero. Again, um, it's a very flexible pick. You can play it in the off lane, you can play it in the mid lane. You're not quite giving away what you want to do with your draft at that point. Same goes with Razor. You can play it as a counter to a lot of carry heroes. It can be played off lane, mid, or safe lane. And that's something I love about Kuroki's drafting. It's very, very flexible.
Hey, also the clockwork could be a 3 or a 4. You know, if you move that timber saw over mid, you could put the clockwork 3. But I mean, personally, I like the clockwork in the 4 position more than the 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's just so good at moving from lane to lane. He's got very high movement speed. Battery assault is like a force to be reckoned with. You don't want to be caught out between the lanes. He's very good at running people down. You can cause so much chaos with this hero without having a whole lot of gold, with like a good positioned hook shot and cogs, splitting heroes off from each other in the fights. It's Clockwork gameplay is a lot of fun to watch.
So you can even
And,
see clockwork in a 5. Bat Rider getting picked up here. If the timber saw is in the off lane, we could see 4 Bat Rider, 5 clockwork. I like Bat Rider in a 3 position personally. 4, I guess he works out kind of just as well, but I like how aggressive Bat Rider can be in lane. I think it's one of the harder heroes to deal with right now. Sticky Napalm's a pain. And then sometimes I've seen the 2-1 build where you go 2 in the Sticky Napalm, 1 to the Flame Break, skipping Firefly altogether for a little bit.
yeah, just because of how they changed Flame Break around. I mean, that was a while ago, but to Dota boomers like myself, it feels like not so long ago, the DPS change on it instead of just being one hard damage nuke like it used to be. I mean, it makes more sense. It fits in better with the rest of his kit. But I think a lot of the reason why they picked up his Bat Rider because it's so good against the Templar Assassin, especially in the lane. She deals very, very poorly with Sticky Napalm because, again, one of the things you want to do with her is try to harass the enemy mid laner out with your side blades. It becomes a lot harder to do that when your turn rate is so high. You're not going to be able to get the angles you want to get nearly as fast. And when you're playing so close to the creep wave, you're very susceptible to getting more stacks on you and getting run down by the Bat Rider. But aggressive mode, counter that out by picking up a Legion Commander, one of the better heroes at dealing with Bat Rider. Of course, I'm sure you were around for that press the attack and aphotic shield method, or meta, where you would just purge off tons and tons of debuff. This hero is basically just a walking purge.
Yeah, and if it came to it, you went with the Oracle if you had to.
Yeah, but it's again, they're going to try and lane this Legion Commander wherever the Bat Rider is going to be. It saves people from the lasso and it saves people from the sticky napalm stacks inside the laning phase. So, nice counter pick there by aggressive mode. We're seeing the back and forth. You pick the Bat Rider counter to the Templar, the Legion counter to the Bat Rider. We'll see if they follow this trend.
So picking up the Morphling. And
What do you think of that one?
well, if hypothetically, if they were to go like Razor Safe Lane, Timber Saw to Bat Rider 3, they could put Clockwork 4 and pick up an Ancient Apparition, but they're not going to go that way. They're going to pick up a Phantom Lance or completely disregard what I'm saying, which is a good thing because I'm not someone who you should be taking pick advice from. So Miracle will be on the Phantom Lancer, Weeha on the Razor, so it ends up being a 2 Razor and a Timber Saw in the 3. With GH on that 4 Clockwork and Croaky on the 5 Bat Rider. I'm not the biggest fan of 5 Bat Rider, but do you think that Bat Rider maybe took a backseat because of the Legion Commander that got picked up?
Yeah, again, when you're playing the core Bat Rider, if you're playing against somebody who directly counters you, suddenly realize, okay, do I want my mid hero who's going to be either second or third position on the net worth to be countered out, or am I just going to put him in the backseat? And that's something I love about Nigma's drafts. They're able to do that. They change things up even after all their heroes are picked. They've got very flexible players and they have very flexible drafts. So the Morphling pick very last didn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but this is something that Skeeter is fairly well known for, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so
That and building Radiance, of course.
EU. Trying to still figure these teams out. Not the region that I cover most of the time. When I was asked to cover EU, I was a bit shocked. So I'm trying to get my knowledge up on these guys a little bit more. I feel like asking me open-ended questions may not be the go move at the moment. Got two got two monitors. I'm trying to do the best I can. I know that chat's probably like, this guy's an idiot, but you know, they're not wrong.
Well, it's what I'm supposed to be here for. You're supposed to fall back on your analyst at times like these. Morphling he's pretty good with. The only thing I don't like about the Morphling pick here is the fact that they don't have any heroes that go that amazing with the Morphling. Like normally you see you either draft with or against like a Sand King or an Earthshaker or a Gyrocopter. We're not seeing that here. You do have a Templar Assassin, like don't get me wrong, being able to take advantage of refraction charges is decent. Being able to take static link is pretty good. But you're jumping around so much in these team fights, you don't have time to really think about maintaining that static link. And you're going back and forth in and out of fights as well, shifting of strength and agility. So, worrying about the static link isn't the best thing in the world.
You can run.
And they did play Morphling against Viking GG. Or no, sorry, against OG Seed. And that, I think maybe it was the last time that they played the Morphling. It was into a Phantom Lancer, as well as a Puck, Bane, Centaur, and Tiny. So a lot of lockdown there. But they ended up losing that game in 45 minutes. I'm trying to see if I could take a look at the playoffs. I mean, if they played it in the playoffs, they lost with it because they did get 2-0 in both series.
Well, maybe they learned from that. They thought, okay, that was way too much lockdown to play this Morphling. This game, not nearly as much. You got Clockwork with the hook shot, maybe some power cogs, and Bat Rider with his lasso. But other than that, not a whole lot of lockdown for him.
We'll see if that gives him more opportunity.
Yeah. I think it's just a matter of getting through this early game. But of course, if you go ultra late, Phantom Lancer is king. And one of the reasons for that is he's got one of the best level 30s in the game. Both of his level 25 talents are absolutely amazing, as go for his 20 talents here. His 10s are decent as well. You go for the early attack speed, and later you come back for the agility once you're level 30, or evasion once you're level 30. Very powerful hero, Phantom Lancer.
And the thing with Phantom Lancer, it just feels like even if you shut him down and he gets that Diffusal Blade, like there's always a chance. Like, he is not someone that you lose faith in until you get that Diffusal Blade and then you get blown out. Because you can have that one good fight, and all of a sudden, well, Phantom Lancer had one good fight. He's back in the game. He's got the Diffusal Blade. He's ready to go. So,
yeah. Skylark dropping a little bit of BM. Not that happy that they're power cogs. We actually see the courier go down already.
So, tell me about these matchups, too. First of all, you've got the Enchantress as well as the TA over mid trying to harass Weehaw, giving him a hard time. Lil is really up in his face with Impetus level 1. But then you've got Miracle who's shifted over. Oh, Weehaw! I think he's just going to die for this. Why not?
Lil's got to be careful. Enchantress doesn't have very much armor HP. But you do have a lot of movement speed, especially with these boots.
Ooh, Impetus shots. Yeah, he's going to get it. Static Link or not. Lil comes in.
Lil letting his gameplay doing the talking.
I feel like for Lil's sake, somebody's got to come up with a voice line that's basically just, my actions spoke louder than my words. So he can spam that literally all the time.
I love how we played that one. He just harasses them with the level 1 Impetus. It is so strong right now. He has to be a little bit careful. He's got a lot of movement speed, but so does Clockwork. Unfortunately, Clockwork did not get the boots first. That's something that I was seeing a lot of while I was casting the South American games, and I think it's starting to become more popular in these patches, is you see these position 4s, even some position 5s, they grab boots as their first item because they want to move between the mid lane and whatever side lanes to harass. And Lil's doing that so well right now.
Yeah, and having that early level 2, he's got Enchant available, which is not only great because, one, obviously you can enchant something, but the slow early, I feel like, is so devastating.
Mm-hmm. The slow, being able to enchant creeps, it's Enchantress has an amazing kit. Like, does so much damage now. If you're able to grab like a Harpy Stormcrafter, unfortunately you don't get it for a very long time, 30 seconds. But you do have a joke among a couple players that you were playing a worse version of the Harpy Stormcrafter when you were playing Zeus.
Oh, battery assault from GH, moving over at Lil, but that's not going to be allowed to happen as the Mud Golem turns around and throws a rock in his face, keeping him away from the Enchantress. But again, now they've got the Enchant, they've got the Golem wailing away at GH. Lil might want to be careful, though. Going into the hands of Kuroki and GH might be too much for him to handle.
Beautiful. The golem split up into 2 golems after it expires, and of course he just chucks another 2 boulders at him, another 150 magical damage. It's gotta hurt.
Yeah, pretty low one.
It just does so much damage, this impetus enchant combo, but again, he is going through quite a bit of mana doing this. Yeah. Let's take a look at some of these other lanes. Even though I imagine top is where a lot of this action is going to be.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it with Lil not only being around, but 3 heroes there for the side of Nigma. Mid seems to be pretty stable now that Lil's not in the mix, as well as now bottom. What I was trying to ask before, we kind of got caught up in the first blood of Weehaw, was that they swapped Miracle and Mind Control. Mind Control sitting here bottom, as well as Skitter, he's here bottom. He's in an off lane. So both teams swapping their lanes. Who got the better of the musical lanes that both teams went through?
I think as long as, well, this answered the question for you, considering that Kuroki is teleporting down here to bottom. You don't want this Timbersaw to be harassed out at the first couple of levels. Ooh, speaking of harassed out.
Break. Yeah, 3 stacks of sticky napalm. They're chasing Spartan away, and it leaves Skitter to get hit by Whirling Death, but no kill there onto this Disruptor. You gotta still be careful, though. 5 stacks of sticky napalm, now 3 on the Morphling. You let yourself get too many stacks, and all of a sudden, you're just gonna be chased and killed. And they look over, they get the kill on a Spartan. They look over at Skitter, who really needs to be careful, because I just feel like once you get to the 3 or 4 mark on sticky napalm stacks, you're putting yourself into a lot of danger.
Yeah, it's when you're stuck in the infinite, so to speak. Your movement speed is slowed down so much that you're just able to get more and more of these stacks off. His SSA Spartan comes back with a full HP and full mana, and a salve, the Morphling. So, Skeeter, not unhappy about his ally's death.
Mind Control backing off. He's out of mana. Right now, he's actually got 2 Ironwood branches, an Orb of Venom, and a Quelling Blade going into a Soul Ring and holding on to all that gold for right now. Is there any contemplation away from this Soul Ring, or is he just holding the gold to buy out at once?
There might be a little bit of contemplation. I mean, there's not really tons of use of getting the individual items for maybe the Ring of Health would help a little bit. I mean, Gauntlets will give you a tiny, minuscule amount of HP regen and magic resistance, but again, very minuscule. Might just be thinking about it, but it's a super good item on Timbersaw, so yeah, might as well. Yeah, so the item pays for itself. It's like a poor man's Midas on Timbersaw.
Hopefully it pays off in leaps and bounds. Meanwhile, Lil, a little bit of revenge there for Weehaw. As Lil comes over one too many times, he goes back to the well. And we'll end up dead, going silent for a couple more seconds. And Kuroki gotta be a little bit careful on his positioning. Glimpse available as GH actually tries to just steamroll towards Spartan. He's gonna come back. They've got kinetic field. Kuroki taking a lot of damage. Skylark, he doesn't have overwhelming odds for a couple more seconds, and the Fairy Fire is eaten there by Kuroki, but the overwhelming odds will hit a couple of creeps as well as 2 heroes, and they'll get the kill. Now into the duel onto the Phantom Lancer. This is not enough damage. Skylark getting really aggressive with it, and Miracle thinks about turning his attention.
He's baiting him out. Oh, okay, never mind. Not enough damage. That looked like it would have been a kill for Skylark right there, but apparently I can't count damage that fast. I'll work on it.
It's the NA math. We all get the excuse when we live here, and I had no idea how much he was going to hit for, so, you know.
Not so good educated.
Exactly. If you could do the math on the fly like that, come cast with me.
I'll play Dota if I could do the math on the fly like that. Be a player instead of a caster.
So we're getting to about that 7.5 minute mark. Taking a look over at the TA of Borneo, and he's currently sitting second on the net worth behind his own Morphling of Skitter, but he's doing a good job. And you know, sometimes you'll see a TA who not only, hold on, actually, Duel comes out on a miracle. They get the victory and they get the kill. They only lose Spartan for this. The chase is on to Skylark, but he should be able to get onto the tower. The question is, how far are they willing to go? Jeej takes a big chunk of damage right there. Now he's onto the tower. Throws out the rocket flare and thinks better of it, but here comes Lil. Looks over at Kuroki, throws the enchant onto the Bat Rider. It slows him down, but he's got no help in terms of damage output. And, well, they'll get the kill in a miracle. They'll lose the Disruptor, and they have a 1,000 net worth lead. Back to Borneo, what I was trying to say is sometimes you'll see TAs kind of get shut out of their lane, but one of the best heroes in recovering from the mid lane.
Yep. You're in a very bad place if you get to that position where you're very, very far behind. Again, I was watching some games yesterday where it was Death Prophet versus Storm Spirit. And Death Prophet, you can lose that lane in CS. You're not in that bad of a play. You're always able to spam up those creep waves as long as you watch out for that level 6. Storm Spirit, if he loses that lane super hard though, he's basically kicked out of the game. Top lane. Looks like there's still an engagement going on here.
Yeah, Skitter moving forward after they get the kill on a Spartan. Mind Control gets credit for that one. Waveform forward. Skitter keeping up as he's morphed into the Timber Saw, but he won't be able to do the damage. Meanwhile, now Lil dies over mid. Weehaw gets double revenge out on him.
Deja vu right now, Bkop. I feel like we've been in this place before.
I don't know if I have, but again, my memory is a little foggy right now. I haven't slept in a while, probably over 24 hours. I made the sacrifice to cover Chinese Dota. I'm happy with it. I mean, I'm not happy with the result, but I was happy to make that sacrifice. I don't know where I am. Deja vu? Never heard of it.
That second time Enchantress had died over there in the mid lane. Sucks. I was about to comment on Morphling in the top lane here. It didn't look like Skeeter is nearly as good of a Timber Saw as Mind Control. Some of these Timber Chains coming up for him were rather short range.
Glimpse onto GH, who is trying to steal an outpost. That's not going to be allowed to happen. They'll hold on to the outpost. They'll get the kill. Skitter gets credit for that one. He's sitting top of the net worth still. But only just behind is the Templar Assassin. Going Blink Dagger first, which is an interesting build for Borneo because it's usually the Deso first item almost, I would say, 80% of the time.
Yeah, again, people want to go that Deso first because it gives you all that extra farming speed. It gives you all that extra pushing speed. So I'm not sure how I feel about this Blink Dagger first as well. He might change his mind once he gets a little bit closer to it, but considering he can buy the first Mithril Hammer right now when he isn't, there's a good chance he just follows through with it.
Meanwhile, having the outpost over at bottom allows aggressive mode to send Skitter down there to work on this tier 1 tower. GH makes the rotation. They'll also get a TP out from Weehaw to try and defend this, and now GH comes in. The duel is out onto the Clockwork, but this knight might not work out in his favor. He doesn't have any damage left to throw. So Spartan loses his life, as does Skylark. They'll look over for Skitter. GH, Miracle, and Weehaw are all here searching, and now they've got the hook shot because GH is level 6. So Morphling, he'll be the third to fall in this trio of deaths.
Yep. Over there in the top lane, just sticky napalm onto the Disruptor, dive him under tower, and there's, well, Timber saw his Mr. Dive, especially in the early game, so no getting away from him.
Mind Control, I feel like he's been very comfortable up here.
Yeah,
really
I mean, he's set up camp. He's here to stay, you know. 4 more years of Mind Control.
Oh, man, he's just got to win that Iowa caucus. And he's up here in the top lane for 4 more years.
You love to see it.
Timber Chain across Skitter. Lil will be TPing over towards top because they've got Borneo nearby. Kuroki getting hit by the Melt Strike. One more shot will get the kill. They've also got the glimpse on the Mind Control. That'll bring him all the way back, and the Kinetic Field Static Storm will lock him down for a moment. On top of that, they'll got the duel, and they'll get the kill. And it's a double there for aggressive mode on a 5-man rotation towards top.
Yeah, and they just beat me to it. I was going to say it's not really worth it for aggressive mode to commit all these heroes to the top lane, which they're going to need to do to bring down the Timbersaw at this point. I mean, he's almost always going to have these max 24 stacks of his reactive armor because he's sitting under the creep wave in the tower. And to rotate all your heroes up there is to create space for the rest of Nigma, which isn't really worth doing. But if they can snag themselves a kill on Kuroki when they're up here as well, it just makes it a little bit more sweeter.
Oh, Skitter again getting caught in a really bad spot, trying to get out of these cogs as well as the battery assault, but there's just no way out of the hands of Nigma, and now it might even get worse. Spartan, he tries to glimpse mind control back, maybe just saving his team in death. As it's another 2 kills here for Nigma, but still just a 1,000 net worth lead.
Yeah, I mean, you come to mind control so that he brings his team.
Ooh. Shot connects on a Skylark. Static link once again. Cox push Skylark a little bit further away. The plasma field comes out. They don't have the damage. They don't want to dive onto the tier 2 tower, especially Weeha low on mana, GH on the run from Boraniha, and Heroes coming back up for aggressive mode.
Nigma deciding, all right, we're far enough up on the top lane. Let's rotate here to mid, maybe take the fight here. But it doesn't look like they want to give this up on aggressive mode, even though it is only a tier 1. Again, gives them a little bit more access to their jungle on the side of Nigma. I'm not ready to give that up quite yet. I do like how Nigma, I think they adapted faster than a lot of other teams in how they're playing the map once the shrines disappeared. And they're not quite as willing to give up towers as a lot of other teams here.
GH getting surrounded. There's 3 heroes bottom with Skitter, so that'll make it a 4th. They've got the duel out onto Weeha. The damage from Boraniha as well as Skitter coming in with a waveform. Another duel victory for Skylark. He's got himself 30 duel damage just 15 minutes into the game.
And Boraniha proving us wrong here with his Blink Dagger build. I mean, he's always going to be in a decent position with these Legion Commanders duels because of it. So maybe it's less about making this the Templar Assassin game, more about making it the Legion Commander game. And it's when you see the Templar Assassin come out and get that Desolator first, she's always going to be the star of the show. But with a Morphling on your team, with Legion Commander at 30 dual damage at 15 minutes, I feel like you might be willing to take the back seat here. And this isn't just Blink Dagger first Legion Commander. You got Bracer, you got yourself Drums, you decide not to just be a walking duel. A walking press the attack D-spell, like we were talking about at the start of the game.
So, do you even go Blink Dagger here? Like, is that your next item after Phase Drums, or do you have the, so many ways to close the gap right now? And especially when your TA is going to get involved, having that Desolator, you have the slow from the traps that could be thrown out. You have the ability to make up the space between you and whoever you're going on. Is it the Blink Dagger next for sure for Skylark, or would it be something different as he queues up the Blink Dagger, making this question sound stupider than it actually is?
Well, you can still ask things like that. Players don't always right away, well, they don't fully commit to the items that they queued up in shop. A lot of the time they do. But I do think Blink Dagger is one of those items that's nearly a must-have on the Legion Commander. Again, being able to gap that distance, cancel TPs, pick people on the backlines off the duel. But I can stop myself short here, because SSA Spartan disappears.
And he showed up to the wrong neighborhood, and everybody from Nigma was ready to go. That was just... Everybody was ready. He tried to glimpse. He said maybe I had a chance. And, well, yeah. Hook shot into the face of this Disruptor, and there's no chance that you're getting away from that one. Now, Borani, Melt Strike comes in. He needs to be careful. The impetus shots really do hurt, despite this being a support Enchantress.
Yeah. And it took a lot of damage there from Bornesia as well. Thankfully, he had a lot of reactive armor charges before he went in there. Otherwise, he would have lost quite a bit more HP. Templar Assassin disconnecting, though. This is something that I was used to seeing yesterday, but a little bit surprised of seeing on these European servers.
Yeah, a couple of teams getting bamboozled by their internet providers in the South American region.
Yeah, apparently it was the worst rain in 27 years in wherever paid
Sao Paulo,
gaming
I think,
was.
right?
Yeah, what they were playing out of. active God. God not on their side for the Dota 2 qualifiers. He's pretty hard to play against, I hear.
Yeah, Mother Nature will do that.
One team out of Southeast Asia, I believe, disconnected and lost their spot.
I know Adroit and maybe IO had problems with their internet. Again, I just, it's hard, when Dota mixes through the entire day and night, it's hard to just pinpoint everything that's happened, especially when I've just been traumatized by LGD failing to qualify for a close qualifier the second time in a row.
It is one of your favorite teams, right?
Big Blaze fan over here. Don't know what you're talking about.
All right.
Always have
forget LGD. Blaze is my new best friend, everybody.
They definitely played Mr. Steal Your Bkop as a big Blaze fan. So we'll take a look.
Spartan trying to get control of his jungle again, and his shrine for that matter.
Hookshot comes in, GH not allowing it. You killed me here once before, and now I'll take your life as revenge. A lot of revenge in these spots, and as you were saying, deja vu. Lasso came out for a second, but the press of the attack was there. They'll get the duel on a GH, and they'll grab the kill. So 1-for-1 so far. Mind Control needing to get down these stairs in a hurry. Skylark also, by the way, 40 dual damage. He is really building up a resume.
Yeah. He's going to be pretty happy about this. Again, he opted not to go Blink Dagger first, but he's getting these duels off regardless, just because of the good positioning of his teammates to be able to get that damage out for him during the duels. And I think one of the reasons for that is this Templar Assassin. He's always seemed to be around him and always able to get on top of these dual targets right away because of this Blink Dagger first. Again, I do prefer the Desolator over the Blink Dagger as the first item, increased farming speed and whatnot, but this isn't going to be the Bora Nisha. I think I'm butchering the name, and Chad is going to laugh at me for that.
I don't know. I thought they were laughing at me, so, I took a glance over. I was like, I guess I'm getting it wrong. We'll see.
We'll see. It's one of the two of us. We'll both stick by our guns. They can only laugh at one of us, right? Surely they're not cruel enough to get us both.
They might be, that's for sure.
But yeah, I definitely prefer the Desolator first build, but this isn't going to be the Templar Assassin show.
Although it feels like it could be, because he's picked up a Desolator and he's got the Imp Claw. So I feel like TA definitely has opportunities to pop off. And now there is the Blink Dagger for the Legion Commander, so you have that opportunity to initiate with the Blink, get the Blink duel in there, Meld Strike it to follow it up, and all of a sudden it's going to be a pain to fight against this aggressive mode roster.
Speaking of Templar Assassin, isn't she quite the hero that Clockwork can hookshot in, cogs her, she can get hit by a static field, and then get blink out?
Balance in all things.
Balance in all things. Refraction is a very good ability. It used to be back in the day you could disable refraction by grabbing an Orb of Venom. Ooh, stop myself short here.
Spartan going down once again. Kuroki getting credit for that kill, though. Timber Chain across the bow of Lil, and now they'll give chase, but Skylark popping the drums to give them some space.
Lil trying to add a Phantom Lancer to his army of aggressive mode. But I was just saying, there was a time. Oh, I spoke a little bit too soon.
Duel coming in, Borania getting the kill on a Kuroki. I was looking bottom for a split second. These kills are happening quick, and I am off ball right now. But here's what I was talking about. Diffusal Blade coming out here for the Phantom Lancer, actually after the Mantis style. Sometimes you'll see like an all-in on the Diffusal Blade first if you find yourself too far behind, but they're actually up 4,000 net worth. They've been afforded this kind of space, and now they'll go in on the Skylark. Double damage out on the Miracle. A lot of damage being done to the Legion Commander trying to run overwhelming odds, as well as the Static Storm and Kinetic Field locking in too. Somehow Skylark escapes, and now they look over Miracle. He's in a lot of trouble. The hookshot comes in from GH. Miracle still nearby, but not dead just yet, as he finally falls to Skitter. Borneo soon to follow. Two heroes got on the side of aggressive mode. Skitter trying to run. Battery Assault doing work here as Mind Control moves forward. Timber Chain coming over. And Skitter morphing into the strength. Skylark also dead. Three heroes got on the side of aggressive mode. They've got the glimpse. Can they get Mind Control out of the hair of Skitter? All right, well, the water of Skitter. Let's go with that. Waveform into the trees, but still not out of the hands of Nigma just yet. And now he throws the E-Blade as well as the Adaptive Strike over to this Bat Rider, but it's not going to matter. They've got him surrounded. They'll get the kill, and they'll take out a 4th. They look over for a second at Spartan. Could make it a 5th. I think Kuroki was looking to go onto the high ground with the rest of his team, but they got glimpsed back, and now he'll actually end up losing his life instead.
Yeah, so 4 out of 5 heroes going down for aggressive mode. At the tail end of that fight, it was actually Razor chasing down Legion Commander over to these trees over here. Just trying to juke and drive around the trees, but unfortunately Razor way more movement speed than the Legion Commander. You're not able to get out of that, and Blink Dagger was not off cooldown that time that he's juking around in those trees there. But beautiful fight taken out of Nigma. You did lose the Phantom Lancer, it's your carry, but I think they sort of expected to have things like this happen to their Phantom Lancer. Again, they opted to go the Manta style first instead of the Diffusal Blade, and one of those reasons is so they have an easier time disengaging from aggressive mode.
It definitely seemed like the beginning of that fight, especially once they lost the Phantom Lancer, was a spot for them to win the fight. Where exactly did that fall apart? Because Skylark, he's low in that fight early, but when you take out the Phantom Lancer, one, he had a double damage, and he did most of his damage only over to Skylark. Like, where does that really start to fall apart for you for aggressive mode?
It was just the fact that you used so much to take down Miracle there. Again, he's gone a more tanky build right now. Oh.
Looked for a duel. Didn't get the distance needed, but meanwhile over top, they'll take out the Templar Assassin. Miracle, he'll get himself a kill, and immediately they're TPing over to the outpost because they still want to fight this over towards mid. Weehaw goes in, and that may have been ill-advised. Right into the Static Storm, and E-Blade came through, so they didn't have the damage to get the dual victory, and Skitter just gets blown up by Mind Control. Weehaw ends up dead. They look over at Skylark. Timber Chain across once again. One more shot to get the kill. It's actually the Battery Assault that'll do it. Trying to get out is Spartan, but he gets cleaned up by Miracle, and things really starting to fall apart for aggressive mode.
Nigma just starting to come full force at them all over the map, and yeah, you can take down one of these heroes on their side, but they build these guys also tanky. Again, I feel like one of the reasons they opted to go this Manta style on the Phantom Lancer instead of anything else is you can actually get out of the static field and the kinetic field, or static storm the kinetic field with the Manta style. You just Manta right through it. I know, balance in all things. Once he has the Aghanims, it's not as nearly as much of a problem. But you're tanky on him. The Razor, Heaven's Halberd first, gets that extra evasion, and he's able to shut down the Templar Assassin for a couple seconds as well. So it's just all these factors. They're making themselves harder to bring down. And the longer you can sustain these fights with Clockwork and with Bat Rider on your team, you're going to wear down the heroes on aggressive mode. That's what's been happening. They haven't been able to burst them down. That's exactly what you want when you're playing Templar Assassin Legion. You want these fights to be very quick. You want to end them all within the first static storm. If you're not able to do that, then Nigma comes out on top.
Ooh, force step forward from Spartan onto the low ground. The hook shot comes down from GH. Timber Chain out of the pit. Now they've left Roche to kind of heal up a little bit, but it's to maybe get a couple of kills here and secure the last couple of blows. They get the kill on the Spartan as well as Lil. They look over at Skylark, who seems to have given up on his life here, and, well, he's dead as well. 3 heroes gone, now nothing to worry about.
So, on top of that Roche kill, you get 3 kills on aggressive mode. You gotta be pretty happy about that if you're Nigma.
Now, unfortunately, aggressive mode seemingly sticking to their namesake a little bit too much. E-Blade gets thrown at this Bat Rider, but they've got the lasso. They're gonna kill Skitter, also dead. Right as they kill off Roche and they pick up the Aegis, they're also killing a Morphling. This is 11,000 in the favor of Nigma all of a sudden.
Yeah, and let's just look at the gold charts and XP charts real quick. This is a very quick spike. This hasn't been a gradual change. Already, Dota Plus given a 92% win rate for Nigma.
Oh, Bornea might be in trouble. GH comes over. Technically, team wipe. They got the 3 kills over near the pit. Then they took out Skitter, followed up with a TA kill, and I'd consider that a full team wipe, losing absolutely nothing and gaining a second life.
Yeah. You look at all these, he's playing so well right now. I think the only reason they're waiting right now is they're trying to get this heart on the Phantom Lancer. I think he's just a little bit away from it right now.
Look over at Lil. The hookshot comes in, and once again, Spartan is dead. He buys back immediately. The BKB was popped by Weehaw going onto the high ground. They'll go after the tier 3 tower. Lil gets hit by the Phantom Lance, and, well, Let's see how well aggressive mode are able to defend, as they've lost the tier 3 and the base has been broken.
Part of Duras now complete on the Phantom Lancer. Bringing this guy down is going to be no small task. You do still have the damage for it, but again, you're going to need to commit so much that I don't think you're going to be able to deal with the rest of the heroes on Nigma if you bring him down. I'm not sure that there's much aggressive mode can do at the moment.
Is there anything they can do to save the game? They look over at Spartan again. He just bought back. A glimpse away miracle, but it's still, it just seems like you're up against a rock and a hard place where you're now losing your second tier 3 tower and potentially your second set of racks if you don't make an aggressive move and try to defend your base.
I'm not sure there's any aggressive moves they can make. Any moves forward just result in all of them dying. This Phantom Lancer, again, he's got 3,400 HP. They showed how hard Razor was to bring down. They lost like, what, 3 heroes last time they tried to go on him, and that was before he's got this BKB. They've reached all these timings all of a sudden on Nigma, and before that you were losing team fights.
They've got the lasso coming through on a Skitter. BKB's going to be popped here by Weehai. He's also got that clumsy net. They've locked him down long enough. Meanwhile, SSA Spartan will end up dead. He bought back earlier in this engagement, so that means he's gone for 63 seconds with no buyback. They'll look over at the mid-set of racks once again. 3v5, and yeah, you're damn right Nigma's going to try and dive and finish it. The BKB's been popped by Bornea. Is it going to be enough to even get a kill on a Weehai? It doesn't even look like it, and now he blinks forward, Melt Strike comes in, and he finally gets it, but has he left himself in a vulnerable position? Cogs come through, Lil's dead off camera, Mind Control gets the kill there. Bornea now needing to retreat, but he doesn't have a BKB to work with, and they're going to keep up with this Templar Assassin. GG will be called by aggressive mode. Nigma take game 1 just 28 minutes in, and it'll be capped by a full team wipe.
Feels like all of a sudden Nigma just showed up. They've reached their item timings. They decided, okay, now's the time to take the fight to the enemy team. And even though it was the Phantom Lancer who joined them, like his contribution, how hard he was to bring down for aggressive mode, I feel like that was the moment that they really slipped up and the game started to go in the favor of Nigma. They had a pretty good handle on this before this, and I think they were the favorite ones to win coming in. But beautiful gameplay out of them. They played the map so well. They played these team fights absolutely amazing.
Yeah, great job by Nigma there. Take a look at the graph. It's basically wire to wire for them, and they now have a 1-0 lead on this elimination best of 3. So lose and go home now for aggressive mode. They got to win 2 in a row. We'll be back with game 2 in just a moment. I'm your caster Bkop at Bkop92 on Twitter. Follow me to know when I'm casting, and follow my amazing co-caster Neph at nephsensei. Is there anything after that in your Twitter?
Nope, that's it.
All right, at nephsensei on Twitter as well. Follow us to know when we're casting. We'll be back in a moment. Stay handsome. Stay tuned.